From the Woodshed, a casual conversation with Chase Morrill and Ryan Eldridge from Kennebec Cabin Company, the team that inspired the hit show Maine Cabin Masters. From the Woodshed is brought to you by Nelma, see the stamp, trust the quality. By Hero Media Arts, connecting small business with new customers. And by Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Now, from the Woodshed Studios at KCC headquarters in Manchester, Maine, it's Chase and Ryan.
From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me, as always, Ryan Eldridge.
Hi, guys.
And we have Jen joining us today as our fill-in guest producer.
Hi, guys.
2 weeks in a row.
Maggie and Nori are back on the ski slopes.
Maggie hasn't been here in what, 3? Is she still?
She's still.
This is week 4. Maggie has ditched us.
Hey, skiing's very important. We want to
Skiing
encourage
is important.
it, so.
I skipped a lot of stuff to go skiing back in the day. I think we all did.
Absolutely. We're here to talk about all things Maine, all things Maine Cabin, and all things Maine Cabin Masters related.
Maine travel today, too.
Yeah, our guest today is Vanessa Santarelli, a good friend and owner of Your Maine Concierge. She sets up travel arrangements for just about anything and anybody. And you can find us at KennebecCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com. Check out our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our YouTube. You can find our videos and our online store where you can find great merchandise. Shop KennebecCabinCompany.com. And this is all possible thanks to our sponsors, Nelma, Nelma.org, EasternWhitePine.org, SprucePineFir.org, Hero Media Arts, and Hammond Lumber Company, the official building materials supplier of Kennebec Cabin Company.
I was wearing my Hammond lumber jacket. I think it's pretty nice in the weather like today.
Oh, it's perfect on days like today.
So perfect.
Yeah, so this morning, I thought, we're just going to get a little dusting of snow. I mean, there was a good 4 to 5 inches of snow.
You had to plow, I think, or you should have. But
Yeah,
should have. You did and should have are two different things.
Did you plow?
No, I bet my dad did. He loves that, sitting home.
I did not.
I like to plow because I don't do it enough, and he gets to do it all the time now. I kind of got jealous at first, but I'm like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
One less thing I got to do.
There's plenty of plowing out there. But I had to get ready for deliveries from Hammond Lumber at my mother's.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I go over there. The driveway's just slick, so I had to go get sand. I should have plowed, but long story short.
You didn't.
I just threw sand down and it just went right through the snow and hit the ground, so it did absolutely nothing.
The worst thing is it's covering all this ice. I mean, I went down the other day walking the dogs. Ashley said she went down with creepers on.
Yeah.
So be careful out there.
But the ice is freezing. I mean, it's cold right now.
We needed it.
We've seen a lot of people ice fishing, some skating, so.
Yeah, I keep thinking we definitely picked the perfect camps for this round, for winter camps. I mean, this is new to us.
Yeah.
But, people it costs more now because you got to keep the job site shoveled out. Well, at least it's not new construction. I mean, remember shoveling new builds, and then you get all the walls up, and there's no windows yet, and you got to scoop it around, go around to the door.
Oh, just not having a roof on a structure and just dealing with that. Ugh. I don't miss that this winter.
You take things for granted.
You do, for sure. But things are going well at headquarters. Shops still up and running. The season premiere
was a success.
Yeah,
the Woodshed's open back up.
Yeah.
If you guys want a great lunch, contact delivery, check out our website, and we have a phone number available. The new menu is awesome. So we're really trying to push that at lunchtime. You don't have to come in. We'll get it to you.
We do have limited seating inside.
Yeah.
And we have the smelt shacks.
Yeah. The fish have been running.
You should talk about the heating. In the
oh yeah,
shacks.
They will have heat.
Yeah, they Mr. Buddies. So we took a Mr. Buddy heater, which takes 1 gallon propane.
Pound, yeah, 1 pound propane tank.
Yeah. So if you come in and shack's empty, you get one, and then if you want more, it's really a test of how Maine you are, how tough.
Yeah.
If you gotta want more, we'll rent you another one, sell you another one for cheap.
Yeah.
So if you want it toasty in there, bring some ones. Sounds like somewhere else I used to go.
Oh, so yeah, it's cold out there right now, though.
Yeah, the ice is freezing up. No, we don't have to deal with any docks, though. I was just thinking that the other day.
It's true.
I wonder what Great Northern Docks does when we're not bugging them.
They're getting ready for next season.
But yeah, now's a good time to think about a new dock if you're looking for one.
This is when they're building for this coming season. So yes, this is the time to reach out to them.
If you're looking for a new dock, call our friends at Great Northern Dock. They always give us the best deals and great prices.
Yeah. Yeah, so we will be right back with Vanessa Santorelli from Your Maine Concierge after this Hero Media Arts video.
You have your wave, you have your surfer, and you're trying to match the two so they work together. Everybody has a different style that they ride waves. Everybody has a different approach to how they want to ride a wave. And the key is trying to like talk to them, figure out what they want, and then hopefully you can start a working relationship that can build and morph to whatever they're into. I do know people who don't surf much who shape boards, and it's not like a requirement. It's what keeps me motivated, so it's not so much of a job. I get really invested in each one. Like as you're shaping it, like I'm imagining what waves I would ride it on and stuff like that. And then it's hard to give it up. There's a lot of counting going on in my head. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch sides, you know, trying to keep things even. As you're like running your hands down the board, down the rails or stuff, you know, I'm kind of picturing like how I imagine water is going to be flowing over the board and how it all is going to connect and work together. The hot rods and the custom cars and race cars and stuff, those are really coming off of, you know, a creative person who's put a lot of time and effort, and those are the top end. So when you're buying the best of the best, you usually do go back to the craftsman who's, you know, got the time to put into it and the experience to dial in what you're looking for, instead of, you know, walking onto a car lot and just picking off this basic sedan that they told you is going to work for you. I love going out with friends who are riding my boards and having a good time out there and be like, I made that board, that's exactly what I wanted it to do, or this is what I would change next time. I do really like watching them work. You know, functioning art's where it's at.
Cool video, surfing in Maine.
Surfing in Maine.
I like surfing in Costa Rica better.
Yeah. Especially surfing in the middle of winter during nor'easter.
Yeah, no thanks.
No, thank you. But our guest today is brought to us by Baxter Brewing Company, and it's Vanessa Santorelli, owner of Your Maine Concierge, and also a good friend of ours. So thanks for joining us.
Hi, Vanessa.
Happy to be here.
So
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good, we're doing well.
Yeah.
Would you like to have a virtual coffee, water, or a Ice Storm of 98 Baxter Brewing Company beer?
I think I'll go for the beer. Jen Lever is a good friend from Baxter, and I was at the brew pub in Lewiston the other day.
Oh, nice. We're really excited to be working with Baxter this summer. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. We're working on like a once-a-month concert series and a lot of other stuff. So, yeah, good things happening around here.
So cheers.
Cheers. I have my fancy logo wine glass that I'm drinking my beer out of.
Oh, I like it. So
Taped my business card to it.
You can see it now.
That's true Maine ingenuity right there. So start off, tell us a little bit about Your Maine Concierge.
Yeah, so Your Maine Concierge was the first statewide concierge and personalized travel itinerary planning service for dining, lodging, and activities. So my background actually wasn't in tourism and hospitality. I had a career in public policy and advocacy, and then decided I wanted a complete career change so that I could eat and drink full time. And so I started my business where I get to showcase all of the finest inns, bed and breakfasts, campgrounds, restaurants, breweries, etc., all through the state of Maine, and basically put together really great Maine experiences for Mainers who might want to experience a different destination, or or for people who are coming to Maine who have never been here. So it's been a lot of fun, and I really love to, get clients who want to experience the best of our state.
So you say you came from public policy. This is something you wanted to do. How did you model it? Did you model your business off of another? Like, how did you know what to do with concierge and like what to offer people and what they're looking for?
It's quite a leap of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, my parents and grandparents owned restaurants growing up, actually, on Water Street in Augusta. They owned Guido's Wine Cellar.
Guido's.
Time ago. And they owned restaurants in New York. So I grew up kind of in the restaurant sort of world. And, Maine's vacation land, as you guys well know. I know you hear a lot of fans who want to come to the state because of what you guys do on the show. I had always heard of friends going to Europe, just by way of example, and saying, we don't want to just do the standard travel guide stuff. We really want to, talk with locals and find out, where those little hidden gems are. So, the whole thing, about my business was really trying to essentially replicate that concept, because I am friends with a lot of, chefs and restaurant owners, cheesemakers, oyster farmers, and give people a more authentic Maine experience than something that, just shows up in a random Google search.
And now you're working with Aaron O'Valley and Maine Life. The first 2 years of getting us off the ground, you worked with us and you helped us out a lot. And now you guys are really you got your own show. It's going all over the state, and you really left no edge of the state untouched.
Well, I loved working with you guys, first and foremost. I actually had my Maine Cabin Masters shirt on, but I have my winter body instead of my summer body on now, so I put the flannel on. But yeah, so wonderful partnership that sprang out of, after 2 years I had been in business. Erin O'Valley, who's the founder of Maine Life Media, she started that. Now we're going into season 6. She brought me on in season 4, and the first, she knew that I was born and raised in Maine. She wanted me to help, put together, itineraries for the show, similar to how I do it for clients for the lodging, dining, and activities that we feature on the program. And so the very first episode I put together for her was up in Patton and Shin Pond and
Test her out.
Mount Chase Lodge, Shin Pond Village. And we had a great time, and we sort of hit it off from that moment on. And the show now, we were thrilled to have you guys featured on the show last summer. I think who's going to be our guest co-host while Aaron's on maternity leave. Ashley over in Farmington and Kingfield the other day. So it's been great, and our 6th season premieres this Saturday at 7 p.m.
Awesome. Congratulations.
What channel is it on? 6? NBC?
Yeah, it's News Center Maine, so WCSH 6
That's
and
right.
WLBZ 2, yeah.
I usually spend Sunday mornings with you, drinking some coffee and watching you eat all this good food. And I just like, Vanessa, you figured it out. All over the state eating awesome food and going to really, really awesome places.
So who do you find your clientele to mostly be? Is it geared towards couples, families? What's...
Yeah, so it runs the full spectrum. I get a lot of individuals, couples, families, and then lately I have this awesome couple from Brunswick who have 17 friends from all across the country, and for 35 years they've been going to different places around the country and around the world. And so they've asked me to actually curate a full few days experiences for them, and they're calling it their 35th anniversary. So I do group experiences, and basically it just can do things for any size group, really.
Now I remember you telling me you've been working with some European or out of the country people reaching out to you, European people, and your network's getting bigger and bigger, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate that way. And I think, as the way that you guys feature different businesses, and like mine, like a lot of the artisans you feature on the program, and in your shop there in Manchester, everybody really supports one another here in Maine. And I couldn't have, the level of success that I've experienced in the first 4 years of my business if I didn't have so many friends really sort of there to back me up. So it's been critical, I think, to my success.
Has it really been 4 years?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, time flies.
Time does fly. So
That's unbelievable.
let's go way, way back. I mean, you grew up with Chase and Ashley.
Yes.
Well,
So it's been 40 years.
I came to see you down in Portland. It was that Press Herald event that you guys were doing, I think, at One Longfellow Square.
Yep.
And then you and I got reconnected there from our high school days. And
Yeah, so Vanessa and I grew up pretty much elementary school right up through high school together. She grew up right down the road from Isadora,
Yeah. So she's.
right down from the road. Well, different camp road down from Mammy.
Oh yeah, Mammy. That's you guys are East Siders, right?
Yep.
down from Teen and Mackenzie's place, and I know you guys did the yurt out on
That's
was
right.
it Snake Island.
Yeah. Now, what's the weirdest request you've ever had?
Oh, God.
She told us a story last week. You can't repeat that one.
No, I can't repeat that one.
And
Well, one of my most exciting requests was the first time I was asked by a gentleman who wanted to propose to his girlfriend and wanted a really cool, like unique, not the sort of same old, place to actually do the proposal.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah, that was really exciting when I got that message and that request. That was a lot of fun.
I should have called you. I proposed to Ashley going south on 95 from a Willie Nelson concert. It worked, though.
both memorable.
How romantic.
Oh, yeah. One thing I've been seeing, maybe the last decade or so is people would come to Maine and you go to Portland, Camden, and Acadia. But now other parts of Maine seem to be getting a lot more popular, in the mountains and the lakes region where we are. And even the county seems to have a surge in popularity. It's really neat to see. Do you have a favorite area or do you try to mix it up?
Yeah, I mean, there's too many favorites. I'm sure that you guys get that request all the time and, like, where should we buy a camp? I mean, I love the whole state and all of the destinations for various reasons, but I really do try to encourage, a lot of folks, like you say, that, reach out to me. They've heard of Bar Harbor. They're like, we want to go to Mount Desert Island, and I absolutely want them to see, all the great spots there are to see on Mount Desert Island. Or along the coastline. But I really try to encourage folks to get inland, get over to the western side of the state, get up north, get down east to, places like, Lubec and, Millbridge and Eastport and Jonesboro, some of my favorite places, Moosehead area, obviously. I know Dixie's got his place up there. Aaron and I are heading to Rangeley and Aquasic next week. I know you guys are friends with Tyler at the Bald Mountains. We're actually going up to stay at Loon Lodge and
Oh, nice.
Renaissance. So, there's just so many areas. I mean, there's something great about every community and every destination in Maine. So it'd be too tough to pick.
Yeah, people ask me, and I say one area, then I'm like, oh, well, that other area is just as nice. It must be like picking a favorite child, right, Chase? You really can't do it.
I can.
Or can you? Good that the kids don't watch this.
Depends on the season. Do you ever get any pushback from people, from communities who are like, oh, I don't want to, don't spoil our area? I mean, some people do have like favorite spots that they consider hidden gems, and they don't want to bring a bunch of publicity to it. And we sometimes get that where people say,
oh, Smalls Falls.
Yeah, like
showing everyone Smalls Falls with your sweet dives.
Right. I mean, Maine's a vacation, Maine's been the vacation state for decades. It's not like we're doing anything new, but there still are some people who feel like we're spoiling the, I don't even know, privacy of
Right.
it. Do you ever run into that?
I think people sometimes say it in a joking way. I mean, when Aaron and I did the episode up at Long Lake Sporting Club and up in Sinclair and Stockholm and stuff, they were all excited that we came up. As you know, folks up in the county love it when folks go up there. But it was funny because they said, well, we're so excited to, be featured and to have folks come up this way, but don't send too many up there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The big thing that I'm seeing really, I think, is that there's been some tension around the short and long-term rentals, like the Airbnbs versus, others that are subject to, sort of standards.
Brick and mortar places, kind of.
Sort of a prevalent issue quite a bit that I'm seeing.
And some towns are actually trying to do moratoriums against them. I feel like it's a great way to, think about all the cool houses we've rented on across the world on VRBO or HomeAway or any of those.
Times are changing.
Times are changing. You gotta go with the flow.
Do you help people find rentals on that side of things?
So, I mean,
how much do you cover, and like what exactly will you set somebody's trip up from every single detail, or how involved are you, or how uninvolved would you be?
Because you're not physically doing the booking, right? Like when they land feet in Maine is when you would take over.
Yeah, so it's funny. I've had people who have stayed somewhere on the New Hampshire border, and they're like, "Oh, can you recommend some places in Portsmouth or over on the other side of the?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm your Maine Concierge."
Oh, we know that feeling.
Nice.
I'm like 5 minutes over the border. Doesn't matter.
It's awful, and I love my friends in the Granite State. I lived there for a few years, but anyway, getting back to your question, yeah. So it depends on what level of engagement somebody wants from me. I mean, I have different levels of service. So it's not just for wealthy people. I have a level, I want to make my services accessible for, people of all incomes. And, but basically it's mostly, so I don't do a lot of domestic concierge. So I don't like arrange childcare or, things like that, because I just don't have any way to vet whether, people are, safe to watch children and all that stuff. But I do everything from, I have a consult with the clients initially when they reserve my services. And I ask them, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, what their overall travel goals, so I really get a lot of feedback from them. And all that feedback directly informs the lodging, dining, activities, exclusive experiences that I set up. And so whether they want to stay at a vacation rental, because I partner with vacation rental management companies and also some individual properties like the Woods Luxury Treehouse in Norway, Maine, for example. Or if, I have tons of partnerships with bed and breakfast and inns and others. So it's really all tailored, especially, specifically around that individual. Some people, they're like, we're coming to Maine and, we don't like seafood. Okay, well, I know.
And you went to Italy and didn't like Italian.
Right. So, so I really try to make it, whatever the guest wants to get out of their experience, to do it that way.
Now, I know you don't deal with kids, but what about dogs?
Yeah, so I love dogs, have had dogs my whole life, and work with dog-friendly properties and things like that. But I don't have dog sitters people lined up, but definitely know which properties are dog-friendly and things like that. Yeah.
We like to look out for our four-legged friends.
It's always important.
Yeah, I posted a photo of Gus the other day, and everybody went wild. So.
Yeah, Gus is killing it on social media these days. He needs to worry about his diet too. I'm trying to get him to go on a diet with me, but his mother's not helping.
So we have some questions here, and one of them says that you've kept a travel log for 20 years. Is that true?
I kept a travel log?
I don't know. Did you?
I'm gonna say no.
Well,
lie, Vanessa, lie.
No, I don't. No, Who asked the question? I might know.
We don't really have the funding for fact checkers yet. We're maybe in a couple more seasons.
I mean, I basically keep very detailed notes about every place that I go to. So.
Oh, that's a travel log.
That's the definition of it.
If I'm eating a hot dog or if I'm, staying at an inn, we'll tell people this is the room you might want to stay in. This is, these are the toppings that are the signature things that the chef does. So when they're asking that question, that might be what they're getting at is I do keep very detailed notes about the places that I experience so that when, I don't just send clients a list like, oh, hey, you're going to Kingfield. You got to do this, 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 and this. It's, oh, you're going to, Kingfield. Oh, you need to stay in this room at the Inn on Winters Hill and get, this burrito at, so, yeah.
Oh, I got to go there. That hot dog you posted the other day, oh my God.
What was it?
Bacon, blue.
Where was it?
Oh, it was unbelievable. If I wasn't on a diet, I would have gotten in my car and driven there for supper. It was, it looks so good.
Yeah, so that was the buffalo bacon blue cheese dog at Moody Dog in Belfast, and chef over there, Raymel, she makes these. Her Chicago dog is bananas. Her kraut dog, she uses Morse's sauerkraut, but she fries the hot dogs, so they're nice.
Yeah.
And and she actually sets up at Marshall Wharf Brewing. Oh, sorry. I know this is sponsored by Baxter, but She's got a hot dog stand over there, and she does a great job.
Yeah, that made me hungry.
Making me hungry right now. Now, do you work year round?
Yep, year-round service. So I've got clients actually coming in every month. People trying to set up Valentine's plans right now, romantic getaways. You guys want me to set something up for,
20 years ago, I needed your help. And what's neat is like, some people, you don't even have to meet them. It's just over the phone, face to face. You're there if they have emergency. You'll answer the phone, but for pretty much it's just here's your thing and just go.
Yeah, I mean, that my most robust level of service, they have me like set up all of their arrangements for them, do all the confirmations, and then I'm available basically 24/7 by text, phone call.
That's a serious level of commitment.
It is. But I want to make sure that, folks who have never been here, sometimes it's, they have a lot of questions. So I want to make sure that I'm providing that high level of service.
Now, how has the pandemic affected your business?
Yeah, it's just like most in the tourism and hospitality industry. I mean, it's really it's been really, really awful. I mean, I would say that, the whole first half of last year was a complete loss, and then, but I was fortunate. I pivoted in a number of different ways to actually, that allowed me to bring in clients that I may not normally have had. So I do provisioning and delivery services to vacation rentals. So I partner with farmers, bakeries, oyster farms, seafood businesses, et cetera. And so I provisioned for what they wanted and dropped it off. So they had contactless deliveries.
Oh, that's awesome for quarantine.
All Maine foods and stuff. So that worked. And then I also do like private chef experiences at those places.
Oh, sure.
Chefs, and that helped with some of them who had to shut their businesses down, bring in a little bit more revenue when they had to limit the number of guests in their restaurants and things of that nature. So,
how are you feeling about this upcoming summer? I think it's a step in the right direction. Slow progress.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm already getting, folks that are trying to make their plans. A lot of the clients I start getting in February, and I'm already getting them, and it's January. So I think people are trying to remain optimistic. The clients that I've had have been really good too. Those that come out from out of state, they don't want to put Mainers at risk. They've been asking about how to get tested. They've been saying that they're going to get vaccinated. I make sure I send them the COVID information so that they're very clear on what's going on. But I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that things are going to turn around so that, I've had a lot of friends who have had to close their businesses permanently, and it's been really awful.
Yeah, it's really bad. But what you're doing is helping too. So people will keep spreading the word for you. What's the best way to find you and get your information?
Sure. So, people can find me through a Google search at Your Maine Concierge. I'm at yourmaineconcierge.com. I'm on Instagram if people want to be hungry.
Yes, do it.
Your Maine Concierge on Instagram and also on Facebook. So.
And when is it? What's the latest you can book to make your 4th of July plans?
4th of July plans.
We got to think summer now, so.
Yeah, I've had people call me while they're driving up 95 and asking me.
July 3rd.
The morning.
No, I mean, really, I am telling people that, as soon as you want to come to really make those plans. I mean, even the inns and hotels and stuff, they're getting, rooms are getting booked, and that's obviously one of the big peak weekends here in Maine, as you know. So I always tell people, if you know you're coming, then start making your plans now.
It's amazing on a normal summer in Maine. I mean, it's hard to find. Sometimes you can't find a room 30 miles from the coast.
Yeah.
So it's good to know people.
Yeah. I mean, and then the other thing is, I work, I partner with a lot of properties at different price ranges. So it's nice, you don't have to spend a fortune, to come and visit Maine. You can really get an incredible experience with not breaking the bank.
You can go to the Ritz or the Hotel Saltine. The Motel Saltine.
Motel Saltine. Nice. Jen, do we have some fan questions?
We do. How's it going, Vanessa?
Going well, thank you. Drinking my Baxter beer.
Nice.
Jen's hiding over there or over there. I'm not sure which way it goes.
All right. So Barbara Lash would like to know, she is needing a place in November for a number of women to do a craft retreat. Do you have any suggestions?
Sounds exciting.
What type of crafts?
Any craft
What is a
they
craft?
want?
What? They must drink wine.
I would hope
So
so.
they actually, in terms of craft, retreats, they're looking to actually, rent. I have some vacation rental places that actually are catering to yoga retreats, crafters retreats, plein air painting, so that like we have an artist and they actually do plein air painting together. So I don't know if that's what she's talking about, but those are arrangements that I can help put together. There are also, there's like the Maine Center for Furniture Craftsmanship up in, the Deer Isle area. You have a lot of different, retreats up that way that cater to crafters. So, yeah, I think that, there's the Monson area has, a lot of those options as well. So, yeah, I think that there's a number of different opportunities for her and her group.
And if they were just bringing their crafts with them, you could just find a house with a big open room, like a workspace for
A
them.
big crafty room.
Big and crafty room. That's good. Craft retreat.
Absolutely. Any type. I partner with a lot of artists and sculptors and painters and people who work with, fiber art. So, there's a lot of those types of things available for sure.
So Barbara, get in touch with Vanessa.
That's right.
And tell us how it is.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. We've got Jody Cantor, who says, we are planning a 5-day trip in May. We would like to see the coast, rivers, lakes. Any suggestions on where we could find an itinerary?
I think we just answered that.
I feel like we know where.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the thing is I've been asked by a number of different places to put together, an itinerary that I can just sell. But the beauty of my service, I think, is that it's really structured around what somebody's specific interests and needs. There are some folks that want to go to rivers to fly fish, whereas others want to go whitewater rafting, right?
Yeah.
Good point.
Two different, types of river experiences, and it really all comes down to, I think, what, somebody wants to do. But I do get a lot of clients who say, I'm coming to Maine for 5 or 7 days. Can you, plan a road trip?
Oh, that's cool.
Go to different spots, and I do that all the time.
Awesome. All right, let's see. We've got Bria Saunders, who says, I've been on vacation to Bar Harbor a few times the last 10 years, but feel ready to graduate to get to know other places in the Pine Tree State. What are some other pet and budget-friendly vacation spots?
Well, I think more and more, a lot of properties are welcoming pets, and one of the other, one of the beauties, with COVID too, is I work with a lot of different sporting camps, properties like Glenmore by the Sea. Our friends over Millicent and Renato have got individual cabins, and they're right on the ocean. And, a lot of places are welcoming dogs, that maybe didn't used to. Even, boutique type inns, like 250 Maine or 16 Bayview over in Camden. A lot of properties, if they, they may not have all of their rooms that are pet friendly, but a lot are saying, reserving a few that, welcome dogs wholeheartedly, because they know that a lot of people want to travel with their animals. So.
Ashley and I stayed at the Glenmore, and we really liked it because you could bring the dogs, and it's just a perfect base in the mid-coast. You could go an hour and a half in each direction, and you got a good portion of the Maine coast. The mid-coast is really, really nice place to base out of.
Yeah, absolutely. My grandparents used to own these sporting camps up in the Katahdin region on an island called Buckhorn Sporting Camps, and the new owners had reached out to me and just got in touch with me, and we went up and we took our dog, and he ran the island, and there was not another person on the lakes up there. It was magical, and
Nice.
I really try to encourage folks, even if you're not a sportsman, check out the sporting camps. They're just so much. I know you guys do that too on your show. So
We love it up there.
So now that you've had a little bit of time to decompress and everything, how was Ashley as a guest host? Honestly.
we had so much fun together. She was psyched. I mean, she was like, oh my God, all we do is eat. I think she wants to come back and guest host again.
She would.
Confident in that. We laughed most of the time, but we really had a great spot. Well, one of the reasons why we wanted to invite Ashley to join us was because, Chase, I know you all have a deep family history over in the, Carrasset Valley area. And, I actually didn't realize that, and I saw your post the other day about Fletcher racing at Titcomb.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And so it was fun to hear her stories about your family's experiences there. When we
First
filmed.
place I ever got drunk was Titcomb Mountain.
That's got to hold a big place in your heart. We won't tell Fletcher that for a few more years.
I won't tell you how old I was.
Ashley would definitely leave us for her. I don't blame her. She had fun.
But she can't. She's family.
She said that everybody on your crew was very jealous, though, and was wondering why I didn't invite the rest of you all. And you're always welcome. So.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
So, one last time, where can people find you?
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So I'm on the internet at yourmaineconcierge.com. You can Google Your Maine Concierge, and on Instagram at yourmaineconcierge.com, and Your Maine Concierge. So come see me and help you set up an awesome Maine experience.
Oh, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Vanessa.
All right, see you guys in Manchester at the shop soon.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take care.
It's time for our next segment, Meet the Owners.
All right, and now it's our new segment, Meet the Camp Owners. We are being joined by Charlene and Cheryl, the old fishing camp. It was a great episode, a fun one. Thanks for joining us.
How you ladies doing?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
This is one of my new favorite segments, bringing the homeowners on and after they've watched the episode and talking about it. This is all new this year. It's really been a lot of fun. We're looking forward to talking to you guys.
Yeah, and we get your feedback. Oops, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So, did you guys have I know right now with COVID, did you guys watch it together? Do you have any friends watching it? Did you watch it and talk to your friends? Or how'd it go for you guys?
Yeah, there was a lot of text messaging flying in between. So, we weren't able to have a great, big party and have people together. So, it was more kind of text messaging and emails and calling after, and yeah, it was different, definitely.
It was definitely different. Some friends, don't have access, or they even don't have cable, so they couldn't watch it. But we directed them to the website for clips and things like that, and
Awesome.
And people really enjoyed it.
Nice. So, what did you think?
So we have a brand new camp. It's in watching it, I mean, we knew the front end of that cabin was a problem. Always was. My mother was like, oh yeah, it's always been a problem. But how much of a problem it was just amazing. How much rot that cabin had. And then watching you guys, jack up that cabin, I'm like, oh, I hope it doesn't fall. I knew it hadn't fallen, but I'm surprised it didn't fall.
We were kind of hoping that it wasn't going to just fall apart like a bunch of pickup sticks once it got started getting jacked up, and then watching how rotted that main sill beam was under that front side facing the lake was wow.
Yeah, that front edge. I mean, even when we were doing the demo, it was really rough. We kept peeling back the different layers, and we were like, oh no, how far is this going to go?
Didn't we cut off a whole front beam off the front of the camp that was stuck on?
Yeah, that was the beam that had the bees living in it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the bees never returned on you.
No, not since we've been there. So.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was...
Remember pulling in after the crew had been there for a couple of days. I hadn't been there, and seeing how they had jacked it and leveled it. Everything was on the pucks, and it just looked so awesome. I was so proud of the way they did that camp. They got it up, at least another foot in the back and a couple feet in the front. And it's not going anywhere for a long time.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, after watching the show and stuff that, I think that cabin is in better shape than when my parents bought it back in 1964. I mean, it's like, it's like a brand new build, I mean, you replaced everything that was rotted that needed to be done. I mean, it's just amazing. It is truly a brand new camp.
And heck, we have plumbing now. I mean, like it showed in the show with showing Gwen, Charlene's mom, that there was running water in there. She was like, whoa. The other thing that was kind of neat was once all the walls were peeled back, was seeing the different colors that the inside of the walls were painted in that once all the paneling came off. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I called my mom after, and I'm like, hey, in those colors, because she watched it, and she just loves what you guys have done with the cabin, and I'm like, were those like pink or that green and yellow? Were they like that when you bought it? And she didn't remember, but I do have to share with you. So she called me about 2 weeks before it was gonna air, and she said, I know why the Maine Cabin Masters, why they finished the camp. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she said, well, I had a dream that they weren't going to finish the camp. They weren't going to finish it. But then Jedi met me and said I was a nice old woman and he wanted to finish the camp. And I'm like, Mom, what are you dreaming about Jedi for?
I think some other old ladies have had that same dream.
So I've been giving her ribbons because ever since, so Chase, when you came up and helped us out in the fall there with disconnecting the water pump and stuff, because we wanted to make sure we did it right. And so I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, Chase came up and that was really nice of him. I really like him. He's a really nice guy, very helpful, all responsive. And she's like, Charlene, he is married. So I'm giving her all kinds of ribbon about dreaming about Jedi. So.
She's giving it right back.
So you brought up color, so let's talk about that color, because the internet was a blast with everything talking about it. So everyone was that like really nervous when they saw the episode, and then at the final product they loved it. What do you guys think?
Oh no, I mean, I wanted it to pop. And it popped. I mean, orange was a great color. Whether you painted it yellow, that would have been great, as long as it was popping. But I think that the orange, I mean, for me, I have a preference for orange. So me it was like spot on.
I mean, come on, she's got an orange truck. So.
Right, exactly. It was pretty close to the same exact color.
But that nice orange with the crisp, like all new white trim, it just looked really, really sharp.
Yeah,
perfect. It was just perfect.
I mean, so many people have told us that it's the cutest cabin. Like, it's just, it's small, that's why they define it as cute, but even and it's funny too, because so all the neighbors at the lake and stuff, many of them saw it happening like while it was going on and stuff, so they knew it was going to happen. But what was funny is after the reveal and we were hanging out there and stuff, you see them walking down the road, and they kind of like walk in, and we're like, come on in, do you want to see the camp? And they're like, yeah. They wanted to see
hoping
the
you're gonna
inside,
invite them in.
It's like, and then you were staying up there, Cheryl was staying up there one time, and what was it, boats went by and they were
there was one of the pontoon boats that went by, and it was actually just before a big storm in the fall, and I just had hydro seated. And I hear them go by and they're like, Maine Cabin Masters, yeah!
I think everybody on the lake is really happy that that cabin looks like it looks now, and the work that you guys all put in. Yeah,
it certainly smells a lot better than what it did too.
Yeah.
Yep, it's sitting a lot more pretty. I mean, it was bad, that's for sure. And again, I still think it's pretty interesting because it was from the Conservation Corps across the lake, and it was almost identical style to the camp we have up to Clearwater. So it's it's those federal plans or something that they just used. I think it's just interesting that those cabins are still kind of dotted throughout the state.
Yeah. It's cool, really. I mean, when my parents first bought it and stuff, there were 2 U.S. Army bunk beds. in the cabin. And that's what we slept in when we were kids all growing up, were those bunk beds.
Well, I think at one point during the build, you called or you texted and you were worried about something, about there being it made to look like barracks again, right?
Right.
We're like, what the heck is she talking about?
She was all worried. She was watching something. They called it the barracks, and she goes, "Oh my God, are they going to make it look like a barracks?"
I felt really, really bad making that call, but I had said to Cheryl, if they made it into barracks and they do the reveal and I don't like it, what is my reaction going to be? I'm like, I need to call Chase and just make sure.
Yeah. We're like, we'll show her. We'll paint it orange.
It was so interesting to just watch the show and watch how it came apart and everything taken down, and then getting down to the bare bones and being able to see right through it and seeing that that there was at least a floor there, and it was also interesting. I mean, when you showed the place to us during the reveal, that those boards on the floor came from, and again they were from the
Bath Ironworks, right?
Yeah, from NC Hunt. It was kind of the cast-offs from the cribbing that they use.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. We use it in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
It's durable, sure. It's solid, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
And what's nice is the contrast with the darker floors against the lighter walls just really makes it pop, and then kind of brings in the dark part of that original ceiling too. I'll tell you, I was up there with a storm that came in the end of September, and the wind was like 60 miles an hour, and I was really worried about things and thought, oh, maybe we should have taken down more pine trees. But the pine cones were hitting that roof, and I kept thinking that somebody was shooting or something was happening. It was really loud.
I bet. But yeah, that a lot of trees were taken down beforehand, and just getting those roots out of the. I mean, it really that camp's
quite a difference.
Yeah, quite a difference on good solid footings now, and it'll be standing for years to come.
Yeah, it's like a brand new camp, and then we love Colby. We nicknamed,
oh, that's right.
The athletic locker there that you got from Colby College. We're like, yeah, we're such and such. Oh, I put it in Colby, so we call it Colby. It seems fitting.
It is.
I think we got a piece of Colby in almost every camp last summer.
Yep, I think so.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know it either, but so there's a bunch of us from season 6 that are all like, as soon as COVID's over, we're like gonna end up at the Woodstock and the Woodshed and have a good get together and talk about our experiences. So
that's fantastic.
One of the people is kind of connecting us all together. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait for a little bit warmer weather, even though we've got shacks and stuff to keep everybody warm. But hopefully some of the restrictions will lift up. It'll be warm weather, and we'll see you up to the Woodshed.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's so great not having any of those roots and stumps there to trip and fall over all the time, and having everything leveled out it's just fantastic. We kept waking up in the morning, looking out at every sunrise that came up and shone so bright through the windows in the front.
Yeah, It's great.
Nice.
And I just want to shout out to everybody. I know that you guys are the front face of it, but it really takes a village, and just, please, let everybody know that so much appreciate everything that you all did. I mean, it takes a village, and thank you all, really.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And yeah, thank the rest of your family. We know they helped keep the guys going over this the project.
Especially towards the weekend. Yes. Friday, there was good morale.
My brother's the hostess of the hostess.
Yeah.
Huh?
Kept morale up.
Everybody wanted to work over there that week.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, ladies.
Yeah, well, thank you. And invitation open. Anytime you want to stop by, see how things are going. Yeah, welcome to it. Yep. Appreciate all your help.
And we definitely appreciate everything that you guys did.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you guys at the Woodshed this summer. You can thank the other guys, too, in person.
Yes. We'll be there. I got my Maine Cabin Masters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Our Christmas trees were also decorated with Maine Cabin Master ornaments this
Perfect.
winter.
I've been there a few times. Had a few adult beverages.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Have a great, safe winter. Rest of your winter.
Take care, all.
All right, we are back with our new segment, Project Pointers, and it is brought to you by Duravent. If you want to have your question answered, submit a short 20-second video to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. Send us your name, location, show us your project, tell us about your project, send us a video showing as much as you can, and we will try to answer your question with as much detail as we can.
Yeah, we need more videos. It doesn't necessarily have to be 20 seconds, but around there. So you don't have to talk fast.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a little bit longer, we'll take it. So, yeah, we want to see all this cool stuff and see these questions.
But the more details you can give us, the more detailed our answer can be.
Perfect.
All right, here goes our first video.
Cabin Masters. This is our dining room, and my project is to put a door where the window is. Once Ryan said, you can always put a window where a door was, but you can't always put a door where a window was. So
I said that.
I have your opinion on can I make that the door? The problem.
Okay. So.
First off, love your walls. Beautiful Eastern white pine.
Beautiful white pine. Second off, don't always listen to Ryan. No, just kidding. That shouldn't be a problem. She wants to put a door there. It's all about the header. And
It's
the
all
header.
about that header.
About the header. And what's a header, in case people don't know?
Header is the structural beam that goes above any opening to support the weight that is transferred down below.
Because normally you'd have a stud there, and when that's not there, you got to transfer the weight.
Correct. You beef it up. You put in, you double up 2x6s, any 2x material, or a full dimensional beam, and you have jack posts on the end that sit below it. So again, that any weight that's resting above gets transferred down to the side, so it isn't pressing down on your window or door, which could cause them to not function properly or break.
And if you're putting a standard walk door in, a one entry door to a window, it's pretty cut and dry. It's when you make the opening bigger, you got to worry about the load. You know, you need a bigger size header or beam. You know, we use beams for headers too a lot.
Yes. I think that's the biggest issue is as long as the opening, the door you're putting in, isn't wider than the window opening you have, it shouldn't be a problem. The only other issue you could run into is if there's any electrical that runs under the window. Because it's a window, you know, you've got some shorter cripples which go under the window, which, you know, you've got your jack studs, your cripples underneath, which are the cut studs, and there could be wires running through there. So make sure, you know, peel off a little bit first, inspect it before you just make your cut right down
I'm
through.
guilty of that once in the basement. We were moving a door, and I put the Sawzall in, and they had run, since I never thought about a basement, they had run their copper pipe up and around the door, and it spurted right at my face.
Copper pipe.
And it was a house, like, it was my buddy Stephen A's house, and it took me like 10 minutes to shut it off.
Yeah.
And then I had to spend an hour cleaning it up.
Yeah, so make sure there's no buried wires, water pipes, anything like that.
I bet she wants to put a double door in there, don't you think? Probably.
I don't know.
So what would you do right there if you want to put a double door in? You got to do some research, and you kind of got to peel away and look what's up there.
Yes.
Okay, a bunch of measurements.
But if she just wants a regular door in there, I mean, really, it's a matter of, again, checking, make sure there's nothing there. You cut down below the window, and then as long as your header height is at the right height, it looks like with the door, they kind of line up, so they're probably right at the same height.
And if you're open-minded, what you do is you find a door that's a little bit small, so it slides right in.
Yes, and so that's a good point too. Rough openings. When you do doors, you know, typically if you have a 36-inch wide door, you want a rough opening, which is 38.5, to allow for your jamb and a little bit space on each side for expansion, and also to adjust it in case it's not perfectly level.
And the last couple of years, we've run into a little bit of trouble because we used to do double doors at like 74.5, but now these composite doors are even coming bigger than that. So we're actually trying to go like 76 sometimes,
and
because it stinks doing that.
And we still struggle with rough openings and windows. I don't care.
Oh, we mess them up. Yeah.
Always check your rough opening. Leave yourself a half inch on sides, half inch up above, and.
Or like what, you know, when we do like a new addition or new build on an old camp, everyone thinks it's perfect, but it's not.
Right.
You know, you're still building. The lumber's all a little different. You know, it never lays out. Nothing's. I don't care how anal you are. Nothing's ever perfect.
Yeah, and you know we don't. I mean, yes, you probably can get it pretty close if you take your time, take a lot of time. Whereas we're moving so quickly. And again, you know, building a perfectly level building off something that you know is not level, you've got to split the difference. So yeah, rough openings are important. Make sure you have the right rough opening for that opening, and Same thing with height. Make sure you have your height. Find out if you can fit a door, but I think you should be all set.
Yeah, and if you're doing a double door, you definitely need a bigger header. So
Yes.
it can also be wider too. So you could do you could have a little reveal too, because a lot of times you might not have the depth, but you could do a wider, like a more square beam.
Yep. So you could easily, carefully peel off that beautiful Eastern White Pine V-match, see what you have for a header in there, and then decide if you need a wider header, which is possible, or just throw a door where it is.
Good.
All
Hopefully
right.
that answers it. Number 2.
Close this one.
We're better at answering questions than computers.
Open this one.
Hi, this is Lois Groff from Percy, Pennsylvania. Here's my cabin. It's a little cabin in a Christian camp. Right now I'm working on the ceiling, getting off 500 glue dots.
Wow.
I'm almost done that project.
Oh,
The
gosh.
question is, the flooring here is a little bit roughed up. Just wondering how I should fix it. Thanks.
Cool, huh? Look at, they must have had foam.
Yeah.
You give her your answer, and I'll give her mine.
Well, it depends how she wants to fix it.
Oh, there's only one way to. This is a chase way. This is not the old Ryan rip it out, do new. You know what I love? I love that the wood stuff. It comes in a can with the guys making the muscles. It's like Bondo.
Yes.
It's awesome, and I use it all the time. You mix it 1-to-1 with water, and you just put it in there, and it's going to fill it up, and then you sand it. You can stain it. I mean, it's quick and easy. And
Well, I think
done.
that brings up a good point, is if you're trying to hide it and make it look like it was never there, or if you can live with it how it is, as long as you know it's not going to get any worse.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You got to check and make sure it's not going all the way through.
Yep. Yeah, but like Ryan said, you could fill it in very easily with something, sand it down. You could put a piece of copper, a piece of metal over it, and almost like that little tin can there did the same thing. But if you really wanted to cut it out, if it was too far gone, you would have to come back, find your closest floor joist,
Yeah.
split it down the center, make a cut down the center of the floor joist, and then tear out the old stuff and patch in with new.
And if you got a multi-tool and took your time, you could leave the beadboard up and slide it in usually.
Yep, absolutely.
Or you could do the old carpet trick.
But again, if you can step on it and it's safe, fill it in with something, go right over it.
People laugh at me when I get that wood fill. The guys laugh at me, but I've used it. So, when stairs come out and you have the skirt board and your stairs and you have your riser and there's that gap. Like I've used it to fill those in and sand it because you don't have a seam. It's really like Bondo.
Yeah.
And in some instances, it works very well.
Yeah, and if you want to show it off, you could get some of that bar top, fill it in with that stuff,
Oh, yeah.
Again, it all depends. It all depends if you're trying to hide it entirely or not.
I think it's safe to say, though, the hardest part was the ceiling, so that should be easier for you if you got the ceiling behind you.
Yeah, that ceiling looked like a lot of work. So good luck with your project. But yeah, so those were our 2 project pointers this week, brought to us by Dervent. Keep them coming. We love them. Send us your video, and again, as much information as you can. And hopefully someday we'll get to the point where we'll be able to really live interact with the people, and we can get our questions answered as well.
And those videos are sent to podcast at mainecabinmasters.com.
You got it.
Cool.
All right.
New products, huh?
New products.
What do we got today?
We have, I don't know how many we have left.
We're going to school?
Everybody needs to go back to school with their own lunchbox. Oh, we have some questions coming up too. We're jumping around today.
Sorry. Oh, I got excited. Sorry.
He saw the lunchbox.
I did.
There's no thermos in it.
Someday, in like 40 years, these are going to be worth money, right? Maybe.
So I didn't realize that there's 2 different designs, though. Did you know that?
Yes. There were 3.
Oh, I think that's
what
all
was
we
the
have
third?
left.
It was black with I don't know. There were 3, but I think we've got a few of them left. This one is the old wooden. These lunchboxes, vintage retro lunchboxes, metal with Maine Cabin Masters with old wood on the side of it. You've got one that's got old tools on it.
I got to bring this story up. I can't resist. So I got a lunchbox. Back at the bus stop back in the day, we'd all go down there. I just can't. And there was this kid that was a bully, and he would just bully us. And finally one day, I was like, I've had enough. I took that lunchbox one swing to him. Sorry, Ed.
You know his name still?
Solved all the problems on the bus stop.
You smacked him with it?
Yeah, stood up for myself.
Was it a metal one?
Yeah, and we were all so scared we didn't know what to do. But we did. But those are not for that. Those are for your lunch. But I just popped up and I couldn't resist. Childhood memories. Jeez.
Just really calling Ed out too.
Yeah. Sorry, Ed. Some things I should keep to myself.
All right. How about some fan questions?
Sure.
All right. So Dan Deeren from Big Lake, Minnesota says, my wife and I want to cook a Maine-themed meal for the night of the new season premiere, but we don't like seafood. What are some of your favorite Maine dishes that we could cook that don't have seafood in them?
Good question. I'm thinking potatoes and blueberries. What would you do for your main course? Get it? Your main course?
I get it. If I was out of state and missed one thing from Maine, it would typically be a ham Italian.
Okay, that's good. Now you got to explain the difference between a ham Italian. I guess you can't get Italian. Like you can't get Italians out west.
You can barely get Italians south of Portland. So
they're grinders.
Yeah, and like Moe's down in New Hampshire, I know, but they're not Italians. So it's an Italian. It's on a white bread roll. It's got
an Italian roll.
Yeah, an Italian roll. It's got meat, cheese, tomatoes, pickles, onions, green peppers, and olives.
No lettuce.
No lettuce, and olive oil, salt, and pepper.
I go mayo. Well, Fat Ryan goes mayo.
Do you?
I'm starting to go olive oil, but I was a mayo guy for a long time. Yeah. And you could get chicken salad, tuna.
Oh, yeah.
Salami, capicola.
Yeah, but that's what I would. What would you make?
I don't know.
If you couldn't do seafood.
I'm still thinking about Italians.
We talked about Snappy Reds.
Yeah, Snappy Reds is the big one. You know, that's something.
Yep. A main
thing.
Red hot dogs with baked beans and brown bread in a can.
That's very
baked
Maine.
Beans and can.
And these companies now, well, remember we started talking about Snappy Reds in an episode, and this one Maine company is like, people send them all over the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it has to be brown bread in a can.
Yes.
From the old factory down in Portland.
Yeah.
What else, though? I mean, besides, like, game.
Whoopie pies.
Whoopie pies. Blueberry pie.
Fluff.
Fluff's a New England thing, right?
Yep.
Isn't it weird? Like you go out west, there's no sub shops. I mean, there's Subway, but there's no like mom and pop.
Yeah.
There's House of Pizzas like in the Midwest, but you don't go. Just get an Italian from like the garage.
Yep.
Or the
corner
store.
Corner store, the gas station. But that would be my suggestion. Ham Italian.
Yeah, and all the roll is very important. The bread.
Yeah.
So a grinder has lettuce and is toast. What's the difference?
I feel like the bread isn't soft. Like a Maine
Crusty,
Italian, it's like really soft bread.
Damon's has the best bread. When you get Damon's bread fresh, oh yeah. Now we're hungry. Imagine that.
All right. So Tim Adams from Janesville, Wisconsin wants to know, when you leave the walls open, I noticed... Did we do this one already? I noticed that electrical wires are left exposed. Okay, never mind. Should they be covered?
Good question.
Probably.
That depends on code. Depends on what town you're in.
No, they don't. As long as they're safely stapled off and they're not like dangling or something that you can get hooked on, or it's fine. It's more the electricians that don't like to see them that way.
I know by code, but you have to have a staple within 6 inches of the box.
Yes.
And then every so often.
Yes.
And a lot of times we've been trying to say we know we're not going to sheathe it. We're putting them a little lower and putting up like a kickboard.
Yep. And if it's in the wall, it's different. I think, like Jason, a lot of times if he has, when we do timber frame or exposed ceilings, if he has to run a wire, he'll put it in the conduit, where it's anywhere that's just going to be visible and that type of stuff. I think, and for the most part, we have master electricians we work with that we do not, we don't do our own electrical.
No.
But we definitely ask for certain things, and, it's...
I think by code, they can, if they're drilled in the wall, they're fine.
Yep.
But it could be different in Wisconsin.
True.
So, Yeah.
That one's
Don't tell them.
I know that one's going to get us in trouble.
Don't tell them the cabin master said it was okay. Talk to your local code enforcement with everything.
Yes.
All right. Ann Clark from Norway, Maine would like to know, I purchased a summer camp on Norway Lake and would eventually like to retire there. In order to make it year-round, do you have to put a foundation in? If so, would a crawl space be adequate to protect pipes or full basement needed?
Absolutely.
Crawl space is fine.
Yes.
And what do we recommend? I mean, now we recommend you put some type of sheathing around your crawl space and you insulate the outside wall because, like you told me earlier, the heat from the ground will actually, the earth will actually keep that an ambient temperature. A lot of times they used to put it on post and then insulate the bottom, but that doesn't seem to work very well.
Nope, and especially with fiberglass, critters get in there. Yeah, it's no problem at all.
Or you isolate a spot like we did like at the nut camp or whatnot. You pick a spot where your pipes are coming in, and we built well, even the first camp at Sugarloaf had a little hatch, the A-frame.
Yep.
And then you super insulate that, where your water feed's coming up and your pipes are going out.
Yep. And as far as the crawl space, the frost wall, you could leave it bare ground. You don't have to pour. It's called a rat slab when you just pour a dirty slab down in there just to cover it over. But as long, you could put plastic down and crushed stone on top of that. As long as you do something to control the moisture and have some form of ventilation in the summertime, you should be fine.
Yeah. And we've done that in a bunch of different camps.
Yeah.
Season 4 we were in Gray, and that was a pretty advanced crawl space.
Yep.
I mean, they poured a full foundation. That's like top of the line.
Yeah, I mean, your trailer had a pretty advanced heating system for its water lines, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Side note: the trailer on my property, which is now gone, it froze up once, but when everything came up, there it was just layer spray foam. The guys had it before did a good job. They take just whatever insulation they could find, like a 2-inch, 3-inch, and just built the box around everything, sprayed it. But in this inside, when it got to it, was a thermostat with a hairdryer upside down on the dirt pointing at the pipes. I couldn't believe, and it worked for I didn't even know
years.
Years. Not safe at all. And we would not recommend that. But Maine ingenuity.
Yeah, we've seen it all though.
Yeah, I could not believe that.
Oh, we are going to get ourselves into trouble today.
No, let's just post that with.
We did not do it. This is stuff we've seen done.
And electrical, we can give you suggestions, funny anecdotes, but do not listen to us.
Always consult a professional.
Do your homework.
Yep.
Great advice.
Yes. So that is it for questions. We've done the promos. Nothing left but trivia.
All right. So we got last week's question, which was, what sculptor did the wooden milk pod in Winslow Park?
Bernard Langley.
That's my guess.
So, and Bernard Langley is a really famous Maine artist.
Yeah.
And a lot of his work is around the state. I know there's certain areas you can go and you can see a lot of.
Yeah, I think Skowhegan has a Bernard
area.
Langley trail with the Indian. UMA used to have some crocodiles outside around that pond. I think they're inside now. Colby Art Museum has a huge exhibit of his stuff. Were we right?
That's really interesting, but you're wrong.
Ah!
The answer is...
Did you know?
No.
That quack one still makes him mad.
Clark Fitzgerald.
Clark Fitzgerald.
Have you heard of him?
Nope, but I'll have to look him up now.
Yeah, look him up.
And so the answers go to podcasts at mainecabinmasters.com. How's that been working out?
It's working better. So the first person to send the right answer is going to be the winner. And then Ryan will put it in the comment section during the live podcast on Monday nights.
To send it to there.
For who won.
Oh, the week before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then whoever won, send their information to the email.
Well, I won't know for the week before.
You will because I text you during
Perfect.
Jen's on it.
Oh, yeah. And, okay.
Yeah.
So we're working. Technology is a work in process. I feel like we're doing a good job.
And we send you a From the Woodshed t-shirt.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, so send us your t-shirt size, your name, and your mailing address.
But if you're not very smart, you can buy one. Right?
Yeah.
I had to buy one.
You don't.
Just kidding. They are for sale, though.
Yeah. What's our trivia question this week?
Okay. So, what county was the last to be established in Maine? Do you know?
You got a 1 in 16 chance of being correct.
True.
Those not bad odds.
Did Maggie sing us the song?
She did.
One day?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to sing it for you. I think I know 5 of them.
All right. Now something to think about.
Yeah. That's it for trivia questions. That's it for this week's From the Woodshed.
Some good questions again. The project pointers are fun.
Yeah. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Vanessa. Keep the questions coming. Keep the comments coming. We love them. Thanks again to our sponsors, Nelma, Hero Media Arts, Hammond Lumber Company, Duravent, Baxter Brewing Company. Thank you all. And from the Woodshed, we'll be talking to you.